flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And let's open up prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for another new day. We thank you for the beauty of your creation. And we just thank you that we have hearts and minds and souls for you. And may we remember that we're here for you, you're not here just for us and our needs and our wish lists and our Santa lists. Ask for wisdom during this meeting, and because for all that has to take place, and may we do it to your honor and glory in your son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, any public comment on matters within the commission's jurisdiction? I think that would be for Rob Cook.
Is that me?
Yep.
This is public comment?
Yep.
Okay, so today I bring you a request from Front Range CASA, which is the local district court's CASA arm. And for a continuation of the $5,000 contribution you make to us each year. I think in the past it had been higher, but we can actually manage at that 5,000 just fine. And if you look at the table that's provided in the letter, it appears that the number of children is declining, and that is true, but the problem really isn't abating. It's more a function of the state Child Protective Services not filing on cases that probably should be addressed. So while it looks like the number is going down, if they change their procedure, I'll call it, it could explode back up overnight. We're continually in the search for volunteers. We train all year long, essentially. Never stop doing that. So this money goes for training, and for some of the other general fund costs like mileage reimbursements for case actual volunteers.
Okay.
And so that's my pitch. It's definitely a worthy organization. Monterey County gets lots of value from this. The way we operate is that a volunteer cannot take a case in their own county. Still more or less for everybody's safety and well-being, and probably for gossiping as well, right? It just makes good sense. So in our district, in the 9th Judicial District, we have a lot of federally. This will probably be affected by the One Big Beautiful Bill, but locally, our program doesn't get money from the national CASA. But we do get money from the state and federal government, but it's through VOCA, which is the Victims of Crime Act. And so it's restitution money. So I would assume that Congress will leave the restitution money alone. It's collected from criminals to pay back victims. And so I would assume that they keep that legacy in mind. So outside of the fact that we had a reduction in the amount of VOCA money we qualify for because of the apparent decrease in cases, we shouldn't have any other federal problems, I don't think.
So Rob, my wife and I were CASA volunteers, and we had kids of our own. And so does that certification have to be renewed?
I suspect you'd have to retrain, yeah.
To be totally
Yeah, but I don't know that.
Okay.
I'm just the dumb board member.
All right, well then you probably don't, you said you're constantly looking for more volunteers, but I understand that. Do we know how many we have in our area and in the 4 counties roughly?
Yeah, I think she has her numbers in
Is it in here?
No? She has in all the other ones.
You know what you cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see she doesn't have them in here. She used to have them in here in the past. I do not know those numbers. Krista Sullivan would have it right on the top of her head.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I was just curious.
Okay.
Been a few years since we were there, so.
So this is 5 counties, Glacier, Pondere, Teton, Tool, and 4, so, and, are the other counties contributing the same amount, more amount, or less amount, or any amount?
Glacier gave 10.
Okay.
Ponderay and Teton are at 5. And Tool has a commissioner that is very CASA unfavorable.
Mhm.
So Tool donates nothing.
And they second highest in caseload.
Yeah, and we pointed that out to Vale.
I've tried to discuss, well, I've discussed that with some of the commissioners up there in the past. And they think that there's all this other funding available that, for this whole problem, and I keep asking for places where all that funding's available from, so we could participate also, and I don't get an answer.
Yeah, and on that line, so this funding is really important to us that we collect some money
Right.
because this is the leverage we use against some of those things, that are actually private grants. There's a Ori plot grant that we've accessed in the past and, oh, shoot, damn, MRL guy. Washington, Dennis and Phyllis Washington
Mhm.
grants.
Okay.
But we have to show community support for the program, and this money is part of that.
Sure.
So while they're true, it's nuanced.
Yeah.
If we didn't have these funds, then we wouldn't get those funds.
Your ask is for the continued support of $5,000.
Yes, we are.
I make a motion, we approve. the
Oh,
continued- Oh, sorry.
Let's, that's fine, but let's put it on next week's agenda,
Oh, that's right.
and then,
How much
So-
was Tool County?
0.
Zero.
And, so thank you for coming.
Yep, thank you.
And, we will definitely put it on next week's agenda.
You don't need me back for that, do you?
No, unless you wanna come and
Unless you
want-
share in the excitement.
I'm afraid of the
Afraid of the owl.
something I say I'll get on there.
Thanks, much,
Thank you,
Rob.
guys.
Anything matter, or not for the meeting necessarily?
However you wanna do it, and basically I can talk to her in the meeting, or I can demo the viewer and talk after, or
Okay.
both.
Is this instead of the meeting this afternoon?
Well, no, so the meeting this afternoon is with Michael Passaway and Bob Cochran with the, Montana State Library, talking about next generation, and, so.
Yeah, so this is referencing for mapping for 911, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, being as we're not gonna make a decision on it today, and we're gonna have a meeting on it this afternoon, let's just continue with our meeting. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so, report on matters within the commission's jurisdiction outside of the regular meeting. We met with who last week?
Right down. Roy Downey is Representative Colin Goldberg was here briefly for about 45 minutes, and we discussed some matters in Ponder County.
Anything else?
I'm sorry, when was he here?
Would have been Thursday.
Did anybody go to a meeting last night or not? Okay,
Didn't go to the cemetery. board.
Was,
no,
was that the,
cemetery board.
oh,
Did, hear what happened?
No, haven't heard anything. Okay, contracts and agreements. We don't have any per se. Indigent burial, we have a request for indigent burial for one citizen, 7 years at this address in Pondere County. That's
$750.
correct, yeah. It appears they have no money.